Me and my dad went out to buy the football cards he was in, and they were $5 a pack. So we bought 4 packs. After he was signed, I would look out for cards. The companies would send him cards. You know, I have over probably like 100 cards, different cards of him, and there's still more out there probably I don't have. I think my mom had this, but all the signatures faded off of it. I have one upstairs, it's the same thing, but there's some signatures on there. It's at least, this is from the 2003, I have the inaugural season one. He said he got at least 10 to 12 that he knows of, concussions that he knows of. I even said to him the one time, I was like, you get hit on every play. He's like, yeah, at least pushed, touched, tapped, blocked, or whatever. And it's always something. He was like a normal kid, you know, he was always into sports, always doing stuff. 3 sports, basketball, baseball, football. He did it all. He started when he was like 5 playing football for the Tabor Rams. We had 100-yard lines painted on our street. When he played high school, he was like a $160 to a $180, thin as a rail.
Frank played running back for us, and he probably rushed for 1,000 yards and probably had 500 yards receiving. He had great hands out of the backfield. He was a hard runner, running like 3 yards a shot up the middle. Just a phenomenal athlete. We didn't know about concussions like they talk about today. There's times you got your bell rang and people said, you got your bell rang.
Nowadays, they look on the field, if you stutter once, you're out of the game. Back then, you got your head dinged, rub dirt on it, go back in the game.
It was just a rough physical game, a lot of collisions, and Frank was a kickoff returner. He probably carried the ball 20 times a game up the middle.
Number 35, Mike Barnett. The tailback, number 21, Frank Wycheck. To Wycheck. He might go! He might go! Ravalico chasing.
He blossomed more when he gelled with his teammates. And when the college recruiting came around, we would always get letters. We'd have like a bin with all the letters where you would get. And obviously he chose Maryland.
When he was taken to Maryland and he started playing there, I think, you know, I expected like, wow, he could make the pros.
He had his daughter in the middle of college and he didn't know what to do. And he was all set to leave football and become like a steel iron worker or something like that, or a cop just to make it. But, you know, fate was with him and he went in the draft and he got drafted. He started with the Redskins. He scored his first touchdown in the second year. At the end of the second season, Floyd Reese, who was the general manager for the Titans, picked him up off waivers for $100. Came to Houston. They played in Memphis for a year. And then they played in Vanderbilt for a year before they went to Nashville in their new stadium. And the first year they went to a Super Bowl. So it was like just a progression from like this to know where his place was. 4th tight end to catch over 500 balls in the NFL at the time. To me, reinvented the tight end position. When it happened, the place was just insane, totally insane. I remember sneaking down to the locker room. I was in there, I was sitting in his locker, and Ron Jaworski came in and put the microphone in his face. And Frank said, where'd you learn to throw the ball like that? And Frank, you know, being Frank, he's like, Jaws, I grew up watching you. Frank had that dry sense of humor, but when he got a good one out, he got a good one out. Through even high school and college, he never had a concussion or anything else like that. First I remember is when he played for the Redskins. Me and my dad were at the game and he got hit and we were looking around and he came off the field and they told us they were transporting to the hospital, so I guess it was bad enough. And he was put up in a hospital bed, VIP suite of course, you know. But then he was back playing, you know, usually that's the case. You get a concussion, you're out for a week and you come back. Back then you never thought about the consequences. When Frank retired, he had a full summer off. He's like, this is the first time I've had off in August since I was 5. And he could play golf and you know, then with his grandkids and stuff like that.
And when he actually moved back from Tennessee, he helped us coach football, my son's football team. He was great with the kids and he loved it. I think he liked it because it was keeping him active.
You know, he was ready to enjoy life as best as he could, you know. I think it was during an interview he did for a news person down there. He said, I think I have CTE, but they can't test you until you're dead.
Do you think you have CTE?
I'm sure.
I'm sure. I mean, the punishment I took and the concussions and the dings and all that stuff. I mean, for sure.
He would joke about it, but you knew, he had his headaches, his migraines. Like we would go down his house and he'd be in bed and we knew not to, disturb him. Frank was known for, let's go out. I'm like, yeah, I'll go out, and then not showing up. And that was the Frank thing. It was normal in a way. Everybody knew that about him. He would be packed for golf, ready to go. And that day, he just wouldn't go. Just isolated himself and this and that. And people knew.
It was a Sunday morning, and I got a phone call, and I was in shock. There was dead silence on the phone after he told me. It was just very sad.
It's going to take at least a year to find out. It wouldn't surprise me. If he doesn't have CTE, there's something else in there with the brain that, when they get those collisions and stuff like that, your brain sloshing around your skull over and again, and, there's nothing to do about it. He would do it all over again. And he said that. He loved playing football. He loved what it brought him, obviously. It's not about the football and if he gets honors and he goes to the Hall of Fame. As long as he was with his grandkids, I think he would have been the most happiest, and his daughters.
He was always giving a little bit of himself to help others out, and I think with him doing that, I think he's trying to help out future players, generations of football players, and that it doesn't surprise me he would do that.